warfare. Red alert, it's warfare. We mentally and physically caught in the crosshair. The fight is for the soul, so many have lost their son. They trying to change your image like women in false hair. The cross bear, the image that the lost share. Unaware Satan's declared war and all's fair. It cost their souls a fortune. The scorching 70 times hotter than the earth's portion. Caution, red alert, caution. They sizing up my people like a slave auction. I told us taking all the soul of every lost one. Run, son, better yet, retreat, son. The beast run the system for a simple reason. Control thoughts that haven't been taught is treason. Think, son, better yet, reflect, son. The rate of maximum state pen erection. The modern day enslaving of dark complexion. With this wicked prison industry out complex, son. Red alert, red alert, red alert. All I got to you, I'm calling. This is an urgent warning, because a storm is coming. Red alert, we don't need no more inequality. And we can't take no more police brutality. So when we see one time, only one thing's on our mind. Lock and load. Red alert, red alert, red alert. Red alert, 41 shots the Bronx heard, but still they let the murderers walk like clockwork. Damn if I don't wanna go make my Glock work like a slave to the rhythm of shots till cops heard. It's too late to convert when you're in the dirt facing your eternal damnation. It feel great when you send the devil back to Satan. I dream about the sensation, the stimulation of my soul from leaving the fed stiff, dead and cold. Gorilla acid load and lock was on hold, but we never forgot. We make a shot for Diallo. Everyone proceeding and those to follow. Fill up the jakes with the hollows, so maybe tomorrow it can have peace. But it's war, so desist and cease with the rallies and discussion. And when you see the beats, keep busting to the streets, echo percussion. And your AK keep clutching, whether Chinese or Russian model. Keep gasoline in my 40-ounce bottle, so I don't get bent, but I do hit and release. When I light up your Chevy Caprice, because to kill and be killed is a last decree. We stand up for justice, destroy tyranny. This is the mandate. We translate from Arabia. Let's mobilize the Penn State and free Mamiya before it's too late, because we all got a due date. So Caroline, learn to shoot straight. Red alert, red alert. Calling, all I got to you, I'm calling. This is an urgent warning, because the storm is coming. Red alert. So when we see one time, only one thing's on our mind. Lock and load. Red alert, red alert, red alert.
Peace and love to everyone, all the Moors and unconscious Moors. Peace to you all. This is the Aquarian NUR. I'm Brother Ali, and we're in this so-called Black history. So anytime I say Black, I'm gonna say so-called. And I just been looking at a lot of stuff, man, this month, and we still got a long way to go. Long way to go. I just got through watching this one thing right before we got started here, and it's called the Black Church with Henry Louis Gates. And man, the stuff that I'm seeing in there, man, you talking about our people, man, with PhDs and bachelors, man, and all these things, man, and haven't grown at all, man. And the only way you're going to grow, man, is what's embedded in your mind. That's the only way you're going to be able to go forward and grab anything, man. Because if you still have the same things in your mind and in your head that you had when you was 5 years old, how you going to grow and do anything? You're not going to be able to do that. So we're just like standing still, man. Even right now, man. You look around, man. It's like, man, so-called Black race, man. We're at the bottom of the races, man. Bottom, man. And it's a shame, man. And we got to do something about this, man. Right now, this is considered the Great Reset, and I look at that in a positive way. I look at the Great Reset in a positive way, because when you're resetting something, that means you're starting over, you're learning over, And that's what we need to do. We need to learn all over again, and it's never too late. I don't care how old you get, man. As long as you got breath in your body, you can always learn again. Like I said, this is the Aquarian NUR. NUR for Arabic means the light. And, you know, we're in that energy frame right now. You know, we've been in that Piscean age, and everything in that Piscean age, man, is being exposed. It's being exposed, man. And the only way you can see it's being exposed, man, you gotta have some type of insight to see this stuff, man. You know what I mean? I was also looking at or someone showed me, it's some rapper, not even interested, so I forgot his name, but he had a big diamond in the middle of his head. He got it carved in the middle of his head, man. I mean, this thing was like a couple over $10 million. You know what I mean? And he walks around with this diamond. Y'all might know his name, but I'm like, man, how foolish. We haven't expanded our minds, man, to get past this materialism, man. You know, and we got a long way to go. Long way to go. But I want to tell you who we're having on today. My brother Abdul Talib Mosi Bey. Bring him up. It's my brother. The etymologist. That's the etymologist right there. That's the brother that taught me etymology, man. And he's a deep brother, as you're gonna see. Give your peace to the family, Abdul.
Assalamu alaikum. Veda Makum. Oh man, it's wonderful to be in the house.
That's right.
Good favor. You know, I plan to illuminate our people, you know, during the next 2 hours. You know, as you said, that we have a ways to go, but that we please to give them clear direction and focus, you know, and a plan of action.
Mm-hmm.
That a well-settled plan, a well-settled plan of action that's rooted in jurisprudence. And so that's what I, you know, will making that connection there. You know, and there's things that I've been working with a body, with a caucus, and facilitating a central and national central governing body, you know, and to represent our people in the international community and reconnect our people with the international community, and also reestablish diplomacy with the treaty nation. So there's, I'll definitely make that tie as I go through my presentation. All right, Ali's holding up one of my books, The Masonic Compass Square, and the connection to timekeeping and measurement of timekeeping. All right, those are two, you know, and I have the Illuminati book and Illumination of the Mind, and the Etymology Vocabulary book. Yes.
Hey, Bill, you know what I like about this book right here, brother?
What's that?
You got so much stuff in this book, man. But you know what I really like? I like this.
Oh, you're gonna talk about the back cover.
That's
You're definitely gonna talk about the back cover. Yes, we're gonna talk about
everybody keeps thinking that we were the only ones like this.
Absolutely.
And that's far from the truth. And
yes, it is.
This new Aquarian age and this reset, man, these are the things, man, that we got to instill in our people's minds, man, so they can have some type of empowerment.
Absolutely.
Because when you don't know this, man, this is the reason why they keep these things away from you, so you won't be empowered.
Absolutely.
But if you knew you had power like this, man, can you imagine where you would stop and start thinking, like, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know we were in power like that. We can get that back again. But when you don't know that you were there, you just keep on thinking that you were the one in servitude all the time.
Yep.
Go ahead, my brother.
Absolutely. you know, as I'm saying that I'll definitely making some connections. So put application, you know,
Right.
putting Moors and Masonry in action. You know, how I, along with a body of nationalized Moors over the past 22 months, have been putting Moors and Masonry into action. All right, so we're gonna, you know, we're talking about that, and I'll continue. I'll make those connections. You know, a plan of action for today.
Right.
You know, that's based in well settled principles. All right, so you want to get started, Ali, with the questions? And
Yeah, let me yes. I wanted to ask you, how did the Europeans, man, come into world power and domination? I mean, how did this happen? I get people to ask me all this time, man, and I tell them it was a long process, man. But how did that happen?
all right, as we'll go through this process of education, enlightenment today, you'll clearly see a direct correlation of the Moors' decline in power and the Europeans' rise in power.
Right.
So as the Moors, as our world power, as Moorish power, world power and domination slowly decline, European power and domination rose.
Right.
There's a direct correlation. So how did the Europeans gain world power and domination? By defeating the Moors. There's a direct correlation. There is a great documentary history that supports this claim. Who were they fighting? Now, the issue of our power and the extensive diplomatic relations that Morocco had with France and Great Britain and Spain and the Netherlands, you know, also looking at the Crusades and those points. So the Europeans gained world power and domination by defeating the Moors. Today, the Moors have been classified as Black, Negro colored, Latino, Spanish, Puerto Rican. So there's documentary evidence as we'll continue to go on with this presentation.
Good. You know, is another thing, man. I was talking with a brother. We was talking yesterday, and he was like, you know, he said, "Hey, man, the Moors, that is nothing that you guys called yourselves, but other people called us Moors." You know, have you ever heard of this? And I
have heard that too. I have heard even statements that claims, well, in fact, Ronoko Rashidi has made claim that that Moor is a Greek word and it means black, as if that's the origin, that the origin of the word and Greek and it means black. So we're going to address both of those. So let's address yours first.
All right.
Now, the president of Philippines, he is giving a public speech. In fact, he has 3 women behind him. This can be seen on YouTube.
Right.
Where he clearly states that the name Philippine comes from the King Philip, and that they are indeed mortals. So Filipino is the name of their conqueror. They're not Filipino, because the claim to be Filipino is to make the claim that you're named after your conqueror.
Exactly.
So that definitely can't be their pedigree, ancestry, lineage, consanguinity, descent.
Exactly.
Now, you had made the statement that our brothers and sisters in South America, Central America, and they were, when one says mortals, morenos, the claim is that that's a negative word, you know, that's a bad word. Now that's the Europeans have given that a negative connotative meaning.
Mhm.
In 1564, Philip II of Spain issued a Spanish bulla subjugating the Moors. That Spanish bulla subjugated the Moors under Spanish rule, and and also classified the Moors as Spaniards. Forbidden the Moors to wear their cultural headdresses, turban and fezzes,
Mhm.
forbade the Moors from speaking Arabic, also from wearing Moors regalia. The coat of arms there in 12 to 13 countries in Central South America, Nicaragua, Cuba, Haiti, Costa Rica, Argentina. There is a Moorish fez, and a pyramid and a coat of arms. The coat of arms of a country is the symbology of that nation's heritage and parentage. Now, these countries, South America, were developed in late 1700s, early 1900s. The question is, what were they for 1800s?
Right.
The late 1700s.
Right.
So they didn't exist until then. They exist as a people until the 1700s.
Right.
Dominicans, at their consanguinity, Costa Rican and Colombians. Why the heraldry? Why is there a soft fez and a pyramid in the heraldry of these countries? What is that? Preserving their Moorish consanguinity in their coat of arms of their country. This is the big cover-up, was to give a negative connotation to their pedigree, their ancestry, their lineage. Their lineage is national origin is not Colombian, Argentinian, Cuban, Nicaraguan, Costa Rican. They're Moors. Look at the coat of arms. Google the coat of arms of Central and South America countries.
I forgot what book it is. It's one book. I think it's right here with J. Rogers, where he talked about the coat of arms, and he talked about like all the things he's talking about right now. And now dealing with King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, that had a lot to do with the starting of that, right? Them
Let's go further. Let's make that connection. So since you brought that up, now I'll have to go back. That's the Crusades. Crusades in that late 1000s, where the Crusades was launched against the Moors. The Europeans powers, not their forces, to defeat the Moors. Night orders were established. These Portugal, 700s, 800, 900, 1000s, 700s. Moors controlled Portugal 500 years, Spain for 500 years, or 700 years, Spain, Portugal for 500 years, Sicily, and all the European, and all those areas of Phoenicia. That's not Europe. Just keep that in mind. That's not Europe. Phoenicia. Europe got to be, so we want to provide clarity.
Right.
Europe is a Roman zone in Phoenicia. Europe is a collection of European states, a Roman zone. That's a zone. Phoenicia. So say
1 minute, Abdul. 1 minute. You keep going in and out. the sound is going in and out.
All right. What about now?
That's good.
Let's go now.
That's good.
All right.
I just want to make sure we get everything like
absolutely. All right. So
you know.
So I want to provide that it's not Europe, that is Phoenicia. Those are Roman states, and those are Roman zones, Roman political zones, and Phoenicia. So Moors control that area. They call today for over 700 years.
Right.
So in control, European powers united their forces against the Moors, and that is called the Crusades. Templar, the Calatrava, the Malta, Knights of St. John's, Hospitaller. The Knights orders were formed, funded by these European powers, to fight against the Moors. 1100s.
I don't know what the problem is, but you're still going like in and out. I don't know what the problem is.
You hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Let's yeah.
I took the beats off. I took the all right. So I just want all right. So I'm clear now. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these knight orders were established. Knights of Calatrava, Knights Templar,
right.
Knights of Columbus. Was actually later on. You have the Knights of St. John's, Hospitaller, the word hospital. The word hospital was established. That hospitals, and that word hospital is tied to a knight order. That's a name of hospital is a name of a knight order. The name of a knight order. That's the St. John's, the sovereign order, St. John's a Hospitaller. That's the name of a hospital.
Right.
The word hospital is tied to that knight order. So we'll make that connection to hospital and the knight order of St. John the Hospitaller.
Right.
So the Knights of Malta, Knights of St. Stephen's, which was established later on in the 1500s. So these knight orders were established to fight against the Moors. Now we were able to maintain one strong after 1200. The White Knight, the order, the kingdom that we were able to maintain stronghold of is Granada up until 1492. And that's up to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella.
Right.
You have King Ferdinand of Aragon and Queen Isabella are Castile. In 1463, they married, uniting their kingdoms. That was a political act to bring about their military and economic and political power to defeat the Moors, to end the Moors' stronghold in Granada. On November 25th, 1491, they refer to him as Abu Adel, but he's Abu Muhammad. He signed the treaty, a surrendering treaty called the Treaty of Granada. Thanksgiving, the political application and meaning of Thanksgiving, and reason why it's the third, because Lincoln, doing a presidential proclamation, because the harvest is, as celebrated in October, so it's through November. But why the third Thursday? It's an astronomical representation too, but it's also political representation. Why the third Thursday in November? The third Thursday in November is closest to November 25th. November 25th, 1491 is where we lost our last stronghold, which was Granada, through the treaty, the rendering treaty of 1491, the Moors.
Right.
So that goes back to your question number one: how did the Europeans come into world power and domination?
Right.
So November 14th, November 25th, 1491 was the end of Moorish power in Phoenicia, what political zone called Europe. That was an end of Moorish power. That was the end of Moorish power in Al-Andalus or Phoenicia, what they called Europe.
Right.
So keep that in mind. That did not end Moorish power.
Right.
So we're gonna clear that up.
Right.
Why are we doing this today? That
Exactly.
Moorish power still reigned in the high seas throughout the 16, 17, 1800s.
Right.
All right. So that's where King Annabella and King Ferdinand come in.
Right. So with people talking about Morocco, you know what I mean? They want to talk about like Morocco, the Kingdom of Morocco, opposed to the Empire of Morocco. So when we get into the Treaty of Peace and Friendship and these things, man, and you know, the kingdom, I don't know what year that came about, but that treaty was before that kingdom.
Yes. So let's talk about that. All right. Yeah. So you have a body of French who actually are claiming, since we the Moors classified as Black, Negro, colored, right, African American, have not claimed that power, to claim the Moor sovereignty. You have another body of people that claimed the sovereign power. So what they did was, in claiming that sovereign power, they established a kingdom of Morocco in North Africa. Because we, of course, we're silent, right? In activity. We're silent. All right, but that is not the actual Morocco that was reigning during the 16, 17, 1800s. All right, that's not
the El Maghreb.
That's not the Al Maghreb.
Right.
All right, the Al Maghreb is over here.
Right.
All right, so we just have to claim that power. So they've actually claimed it. All right, and then created a flag, similar flag, and actually claimed that a more sovereign power. That is the Kingdom of Morocco.
Right.
But the Treaty of Peace and Friendship with the United States is with the Emperor of Morocco.
Yeah. And I think it's like they like to confuse people with this stuff, man. You know what I mean? So when they see because I have a lot of Moroccan friends right now, you know what I mean? When we show them like nationality card with the flag, and they are impressed, they like, hey, well, y'all have our flag. You know what I mean? But nah, man, that's the flag. That's the flag that we had, also known as the cherry tree. And so the banner, the United States banner, which is not a flag, but they renamed that also the cherry tree, and for people, I don't have the flag with me, but this right here, that's the flag. But that's when they talking about what George Washington said, I shall not tell a lie, but I chopped down the cherry tree.
Yeah, that's
what he's saying is that he chopped down your power, our power. And that's what happened, man.
Absolutely.
Another thing I want to put to rest, Abdul, I know you hear it, man, every day, man. we the American people, we the American people this, you know, America this, America that. And I'm like, you know, there's a big difference between America and the United States. And we have to keep we have to keep saying this. And I know brothers and sisters, sometimes y'all might get tired of this because you guys know better. But it's a large segment, a very large segment of us that don't know. And they hear this in that news media every day, man. America and the United States are two separate entities, man. You want to expound on that, brother?
Let's go to the United States Constitution.
Yeah.
All right, Article 2, Section 1. The executive power of the United States shall be vested in the President of the United States of America. It doesn't read the executive power of the United States shall be vested in the President of America.
Right.
All right.
Exactly.
Let's go to
exactly.
Article 1, Section 1, the United States Constitution. The legislative power of the United States shall be vested in Congress, proposing of the Senate and the House of Representatives. All right. Doesn't of the United States. So it doesn't read the executive power, the legislative power be vested in a Congress of America. So they, where is their United American citizenship claim? Meaning the Europeans are not even making the claim. Just hear me out. Europeans do not claim to be Americans. Hear me out. Let me clear about that. Verbally they do. Verbally. Out of their mouth. Out of their mouth they claim that. When I say they don't make a claim officially,
right?
There's no official claim. It's propaganda.
Right.
It's not an official political claim. It's a propaganda claim.
Exactly.
That the Constitution, there's no American citizenship structured in the United States Constitution.
Right.
So that's what I mean by claim.
Right.
On official government documents, you're looking at the consulate letterheads, president, Senate, House of Representatives, any any agency, any departments, Homeland Security,
Post Office,
Secretary of State, all right, the State Department, Urban Housing Development. What does the letterhead read? Doesn't read
United
American,
States.
American House of Representatives, American Attorney General, American Supreme Court, American Congress, American Department of Interior, American. So there's no official claim. It's propaganda. I just want people to follow me. Just follow me. So show me the official political claim. So Europeans do not officially claim to be American. There's no American citizenship structured in the United States Constitution.
Right.
It's just verbal. That's called propaganda.
Right.
So they're not even making the claim.
Right. And then there's
no identification. There's no ID. There's no national identification card that's legislated by the United States Congress for American citizenship card. There's no American citizenship card. The naturalization papers read United States of America, not American Naturalization Office. So there is no official claim. So you can't sue them for nothing. We're gonna sue them for.
Right.
What's the sue? You sue what? They ain't make no claim. It's just verbal propaganda.
Right.
So they're not claiming to be Americans. And I explain what I mean by that. There's no official public, no official claim.
Right.
I can go around and say this, but that's not official.
Right.
All right.
Got you.
Did I clear that up?
Oh yeah, definitely. Even when you go into, you know what I mean, they have no idea about the OAS, that the United States even is a part of that.
Organization of American States, explain it. Organization of American States.
Right.
There you go. Organization of American States, that's an official claim. That's an official claim of Organization of American States. Haiti, Costa Rica, El Salvador, those are American states.
Right. What is it, like 38? About 38 states?
Yes, 38 of them, yes. 36, 38,
and
yes.
you show people this, man. I mean, like, man, when we show our people this stuff, man, it's like you show them, physically show them, and they still rebel. It's incredible, man.
All right, let me help. All right, but if you use the line of reasoning that I presented, though.
Yeah.
That, I think that'll help.
Yeah, that will help, because
that's why I did that, to help people be able to articulate it. Use that line of reasoning.
Right.
You know, you have to point out official documents, letterheads. The Constitution, there's no official American claim.
Nowhere.
See what we're not saying United States of America. See what we're talking about, America, American Senate. It's not that, I mean, there's no term, there's no American Senate like that. American Senate.
Right.
It doesn't.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, like, and also yesterday I was speaking with some brothers, man, and we was talking about this. We was talking about America. And I went and got the brother's dictionary. That he was at 1828 Webster's, and I showed him. I told him to read it. He read it, because I told him how when you see this, you can see how they stole our birthright. Clearly, you can see how they stole our birthright. So he read it. He read, you know, we the Aboriginal, the copper color Aboriginal people from America, and founded here by Europeans.
The original application of the name.
Right. So I said, can you see now how they stole your birthright? Because when they got here, they seen Americans. When the Europeans got here, they seen Americans. They seen you, because you the copper. So he just couldn't, man. He couldn't get it. So he said, yeah, but it wasn't us, it was the native.
Reservation.
Yeah, right? I said, no. I said, that's us. And that's another thing, man, is like getting people to understand that we are that person who you think is somebody else.
All right, let me provide. All right. There's a book entitled Unexpected Faces in Ancient America by Alexander von Rutenau. Unexpected faces in ancient America.
Right.
There's over 150 photos of stone heads, figurines, statues, statuettes that look like the one I'm talking to right now.
Right.
Look like the brother I'm talking to right now.
That's right.
God knows, thick lips.
That's right.
So what that is, Ali, is conditioning, social engineering, indoctrination since childhood. In all the schools. And preschool up until maybe grade 3 or 3, grade go to 3rd grade. What do they do in November? In November, the children are given coloring books,
Pilgrim and Indian.
Mm-hmm.
From 2 years from pre-K 3, pre-K 4, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, they're giving films, they're showing films and documentary, and they have they post outside the classroom. All right, you know, Indians and Pilgrims, and that's done throughout November. PK 2, 3, 4, 5, first grade, second grade, third grade. All right, conditioning.
That's right.
And but they call the Indians don't look like the one I'm talking to right now.
That's right.
So it's conditioning.
Yeah.
So even though the brother did read it, because of the indoctrination in social engineering at a young age, he's been conditioned to see the American or native people as those who live on reservations that don't look like him. And like we're saying, this book, Unexpected Faces in Ancient America. Why is it called Unexpected Faces? Why did he title Unexpected? Why is it Unexpected Faces? Because of the social engineering done in the schools. So that's why it's Unexpected Faces.
Right.
And like I said, because the brother, he didn't associate himself as being Aboriginal, indigenous, and native to the land. He said, "Oh,
right.
what about those on reservations? What about Tonto? What about Tonto, the Lone Ranger, the Lone Ranger, and Tonto?"
Right.
Yeah, you don't look like Tonto.
Exactly.
You don't look like Tonto. Remember the Lone Ranger? Remember, I grew up watch those cowboys and Indian movies. You don't look like those in the cowboy Indian movies. It's the conditioning.
Right.
They know exactly.
Now, what's his name? Senator Dow's in the Dow's role, right? Now he had a lot to play with that, right? He had a lot to do with that.
Talk about the Senator Dawes he introduced into legislation the Dawes role,
right?
And that was where the Europeans could pay $5. That's what the term $5 Indian.
$5
Europeans could pay $5. This is how that was a scheme of how the Europeans, were able to, gain more control of the land. How these Europeans, were able to pay $5 to get their name on the roll, the Dawes roll. When they were allotted a certain amount of acres, so they were given a certain amount of acres of our land. That's what's called they're called $5. So what you see on reservations are the $5 Indians.
Right.
Senator Dawes, D-A-W-E-S.
Right. All right. I got something else for you, brother. Explain the following statements by Robert Davis, professor of Italian Renaissance history of Ohio University, when he says the enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization that is central to scholarship on the modern era.
All right. Now pull up the back cover. Show the back cover on the book. Now you see the back cover there. Now you don't see images like this, pictures like this even on different websites or
nowhere.
Textbooks and right.
Nowhere.
So this ties back to the question number one: how did Europeans come in world power and domination? Right, defeating the Moors. Now, why is this central theme? Because they had to cover up, omit the extensive diplomatic relations between the Moroccan Empire and European powers. We talk about, they're paying us annual tribute. They are seizing their ships. We we're capturing them and holding them for high ransom. that shows our power. So that doesn't fit the theme of this world conquest, story, during
That's
this
right.
15, 16, 1700s.
That's right.
They can't get that that transatlantic slave story off. They can't get that off. So they had to, they had to cover up, suppress in the public
Right.
this vast documentary evidence of this extensive diplomatic relations between Morocco and European powers. So to play this world domination during the 15, 16, 1700s, so what they present to the public is the interchange, the wars they had among each other. Interchange of trade and commerce they had among each other, and remove the trade and commerce and wars, and they're paying an annual tribute. So it gives you a different story. So we wouldn't know our world power.
Right.
Because if you know who you are and the position we had politically, economically, trade-wise, you don't seek to reclaim it because you don't know it. What you don't know, you're not going to seek to reclaim it. There's no desire. There's no urge to get back to that because you don't know it. Because they got you. You came from Africa and changed. See what they did. The first sites, how they presented.
Right.
And first that we laid their eyes on Europeans, we were in chains. See, African kings sold Africans to Europeans. So the first time we ever in our whole existence laid sight on the Europeans, we were in chains. See that? See that? Subjugation, inferior mindset, inferior.
And that's one of the reasons why they came out with that Roots, right? That Root story, or that movie.
Yes.
Which he didn't even he plagiarized that and stole that from someone.
It perpetuates the false history of our being transported from Africa to our land.
That's to make you not make this claim here.
That you won't make the claim.
That's right.
Because it's abandoned. It's called abandonment. So as long as though we are on the land physically, we have to make a political claim. We have to reclaim that which they claim in North Africa. We got to claim the more sovereignty that they claiming.
Right.
That same more sovereignty.
Right.
Because what they're doing is they're connecting the history, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, they're connecting their history to them in North Africa. So we have to reclaim that history and that more sovereignty. They're claiming it because
right. And you know what? I tie that into, that's just like if a person, say like you in your house, you and your family, and you got some hybrid Europeans, man, that come in your house today and take your whole family out of there, put you on the street, and here it is, they move in, you know what I mean? Is that his house?
Nope.
That ain't his house.
Nope.
And it's the same situation. You know what I mean?
You have blood claims. You have blood right claims to the house.
That's right.
That's your inheritance.
Yeah.
You have succession rights. You have under the laws of succession and the laws of descent and consanguinity. You have the right of claim by blood.
Just sanguinis. What do they call that? Just sanguinis?
Or just sanguinis means you have just sanguinis by law blood.
Right.
By law blood, just sanguinis claim. So we have just sanguinis claim.
Right.
But we have to be in political order. We have to be in political order. We have to be in national unity with a national constitution. We have to be in government structure to make the claim. You won't be recognized as an individual. We must be recognized as a governing body.
Right.
You won't be able to do government to government relations and enforce the treaties with the treaty nations.
Right. Exactly. Exactly, man. Hey, look, going through your book too, man. I was looking because I have a Corvette. I have a Corvette, man. And every time I see this black Corvette right here, you know, and that was the parade of the Shriners, right?
Shriners Parade, yes.
So here it is. They driving, and I'm talking about. I mean, because you've been there.
Yep.
They have, I don't know how many Corvettes out there.
Corvettes. Yeah, they have a.
But if you show the average person this, and hundreds of Corvettes, man, just circling around.
They got the miniature ones and they got the actual car one. Yes, they do.
So explain the Corvette.
All right, Corvette is the little ship. Now let me put it in historical context.
Yeah.
The Europeans powers negotiated treaties with us so that they would not be molested.
Right.
On the high seas. So they in the negotiation they would pay us annual tribute. You know, so it's protect, you know, that they would be the annual tribute was protection against molestation, all right, on the sieging of their ships.
That's right.
Huge. So a Corvette or little ship means little ship, et, core ship, et, the suffix little. You know, were those ships that we in those speedboats, though, and that we would sail up along the ships, you know, quite a few of them, and we would seize the ship. So what the Shriners of Parade is about is laying out is actually a symbol or representation of the history in parade form. So each aspect, and as we can go on, each aspect of the parade has meaning and correct tie to history. And I showed that in Moors Masonry.
Right.
Show the historical meaning and connection that this is not just a parade for fun. All right.
Right.
It has meaning. They're celebrating our conquering.
Exactly.
In front of your face.
Right.
So I showed that, and I chronicle it. I showed documentary evidence, the treaties, letters.
Yes.
Why these different aspects are in the parade.
Yeah. Hey, look, and that ties into you kind of expounded just a little bit on what I wanted to ask you, which is now this dealing with the transatlantic, which says, how is it that the European can claim to have control over the high seas during the 1500s, the 1600s, 1700s, when the Europeans have been captured and their ships seized by the Moors? Because it got a lot to do kind of with what you was talking about, but expound on that a little bit.
Yes, I'm going to read something from the book.
Right.
All right. This is Daniel J. Bitkus and Nabir Matau presents accounts of the Moorish captivity and ransoming of Europeans during the 1500s and 1700s in piracy, slavery, and the redemption, Barbary captivity narratives from early modern England. It is impossible, quote, it is impossible to calculate the exact number of Britons who were captured by the Barbary pirateers during the period under study. While there are records of thousands of captives who were ransomed, innumerable others simply disappeared by being sold into slavery in the North African and Middle Eastern hinterlands. In 1577, after 14 years in Alexandria, John Fox escaped, but only 3 of the Englishmen who had been captured with him in 1563 participated in the escape. Whether the rest had died or joined Turco Egyptian society by converting to Islam is not clear. In 1632, 38 captives presented a 38 captives presented a petition to King Charles I. In it, some stated they had been held 20 years, some 16, some 12, while others had been forced to convert. A list compiled on September 6, 1669, names 400 English captives held in Algiers, 348 who had been brought new, and 52 old slaves. This list mentions the dates on which captives were sieged, their names, and the ships on which they had been sailing. It further shows how, on many occasions, brothers and cousins were sieged together on a ship, how non-Britons were also sieged, and how some died after their captures. A year later, a list of English captives by pirates of Algiers made public for the benefit of those that have relations there were published in London and included the same names, orders as they appeared in the manuscript. So, yes, how could they make that claim? Once again, going back to the transatlantic slave trade story and how to continue to push that is to cover this up. How could they make the claim?
They don't have any. They don't have any records.
Exactly, but there's records of our power.
Right.
There's records of our power, of our sea powers during the 15, 16, 1700s. There's records of our seizing their ships.
Right.
So how is it, Ali, that the Spaniards and the Portuguese and the French and the Dutch and the English, 300 years back and forth, you know, Spaniards and starting with the Spaniards and Portuguese, all right? Then later the French, all right? The Dutch, then the English, all right, during 1600s. How back and forth, 300 years, back and forth, 300 years.
No.
When they were being sieged, they were paying annual tribute to us.
Right.
So to remove that information, they had to suppress that. Once again, the enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization that is central to scholarship on the early modern era. This is conspiracy to maintain control of our vast estate. So as long as we do not claim it, our vast estate, continues to be abandoned.
And this is one of the reasons why they give us the names, the labels of Black and Negro and colored,
right,
and
to make the claim. So because we won't be tied to the inheritance, the birthright, the sovereign power.
Right.
Absolutely. It makes us non-descendable. And therefore the state lays in abandonment. It's abandoned. And they were our guardians. So they are guardians of our state. That's what's under law, sovereign explained. Under the law of salvage. Now we're done with admiralty. This is admiralty. Under the laws of salvage, so we are, they captured us under the laws of salvage. We have to, so there's no claim made. So
Right.
we have the right to post-liminium, POSLIMINIUM, post-liminium, all right? Because we are in captivity on our own land. The right, this is dealing with international law, all right? The laws of nation. We have the right to claim post-liminium. And under the post-liminium, that we have the right to go back to the original condition, to be restored, be moving out of captivity. And we have the right.
That again, post-millennium.
POSTLIMINIUM.
Okay.
Post-liminium. All right, just want to introduce these words,
Right.
these terms. That's the right to post-liminium. We have the right to make that claim. We're in captivity. We are prisoners of war. Our condition did not come about by them taking us out of Africa and forcing us over here on ships. That's our condition that come about through that.
Right.
Our condition came about through their defeating us in war.
And that's a lot. It was a lot of.
About we are the prisoners of war. We're not no. They ain't seized us from no Africa.
Right. Right. That's right. That's right. That's right. I mean,
story. We won't be able to make the claim.
Yeah.
Because we don't know who we are. So how you can't make no claim. See, Ali.
Yeah.
This whole thing about, you know, they took us from everywhere. You know what I mean? They took us from everywhere. We don't know, we don't know where it took us from. So now you don't see, you can't make a claim.
Right.
You can't make a claim. You don't know who you are. You can't make no claim. How you gonna make a claim? You don't know who you are. It's from everywhere.
That's right.
It's from everywhere. We don't think to see.
That's right. That's right. How can you make a claim if you don't know who you are, man?
Right.
You know, there's no claims. There are no claims to be made.
Absolutely.
So, let me get into the International Court of Justice. So, why did the International Court of Justice use the bilateral Moorish treaties with 10 different European nations between 1631 to 1919 to adjudicate the 1952 case between France and the United States to determine which jurisdiction has the most favorable nation claim and status?
All right. Now, in my book, Moors and Masonry, I have listed the treaties from 16s to 1660s between Morocco and France, between Morocco and France, between Morocco and the Netherlands, between Morocco and English / Great Britain. Now there's 10 bilateral, there's 10 countries, European powers, on which we entered bilateral treaties. France, Spain, the Netherlands, Great Britain, United States, Treaty of Peace and Friendship, Sardinia, Belgium, Denmark. So there's 10, and those treaties with those nations was the primary type of treaties that was used to adjudicate these treaties I have in Moors and Masonry, that was to adjudicate that 1952 case between France and United States. United States lost the case and therefore was forced to legislate the ending of consular courts, United States consular courts at Morocco, because they lost the most favorable nation case. United States was claiming to have the most favorable nation status and claim. The United States is not an occupying sovereign. United States is a subsidiary of Great Britain to this very day. They're not an occupying sovereign as England, France, the Netherlands, Spain, Portugal. They're not on the same footing. They're not an occupying sovereign. The United States is a subsidiary of Great Britain. So when it comes to questions regarding Morocco and in Europe, United States has no authority.
And time is up.
So this is why that case is important, and to also show that those treaties are vital and still enforced, because those treaties were used to adjudicate that case.